Has planning felt daunting to you, or maybe didn't know where to start? Well, today, guess what? We're going to be digging into planning in real time. And we're going to be putting all of those special skills together between how to plan for math, how to write a great hook, and how to get a sustainable, beautiful plan from start to finish. Let's get into it. Welcome to Miss Asia Educates. So in this video, it would definitely make a lot of sense to go back to the previous videos because there I went over all of how to plan a lesson, how to structure a lesson, how to turn a standard into a learning target, and also we also went over the different what makes a good lesson plan and what makes a not so good lesson plan or a bad lesson plan. So today we're going to be actually going on Planbook, one of my favorite tools for teaching, and I used it back when I was also an educator in the school system. And now that I'm a homeschool mom, this is my favorite planning tool because you're able to do just so much. You're able to push lessons forward if you don't get to them, or maybe even erase and even do some previous lessons that you did before that you really liked. So I hope you guys enjoy. Let's go ahead and get into planning math for preschool. Let's get into it. All right, guys, let's get into it. So here you see you have my plan book here. It has all the days and so forth. I can definitely do another video on a schedule if you guys are interested. I'm going to do a little walkthrough of plan book, but let's go ahead and get into this. All right, so we're going to go down to math. That's what you guys came here for, to see me actually plan math in real time. And so here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with Monday. So here you see my mathematics tab, and I'm going to go ahead and click edit lesson. So from here, I'm actually going to do the standards first because it's just easier to do that. And I feel like it's easier to make sure that my objective aligns with my standard. So my standard, I've already got it. It says identify squares, circles, triangles, rectangles, hexagons, cubes, cones, cylinders, and spheres as a two-dimensional, three-dimensional shape. This standard actually lays out the framework for the whole entire week. So I already have that ready in there and ready to go. All right, so one thing that I love also about Planbook is that it helps you to go as deep into your plans as possible. And so we're going to, like I told you guys, the simple structure is a objective, a hook, aka activity and instruction, and then practice. And of course, if you have older children, independent practice and assessment, right? And it has literally all that. See, objective, direct instruction, guided practice, independent practice, homework, note standards, it has it all. So if you actually love this type of thing, I really, really do recommend Planbook for this type of activity. So let's go ahead and do the objective. So I know for week one, especially since I did get a very good quality curriculum, and I'm so glad I did, because guess what? A lot of my objectives are already written out for me. But of course, I'm just making sure that it aligns with my standards. And since it does, I'm going to go ahead and write out these objectives. So the first objective for day one is identify. I can identify cubes. Actually, I don't even have to uppercase that. I can identify cubes, cylinders, and spheres. Okay, that is it. And we're going to go ahead and go to, that's my objective. I've already written it. Let me go ahead and go to my direct instruction. So of course, I'm just going to lay out the framework here. So we're going to do our hook first. The we do, I do, / we do activity. And then of course, because it's more so the guided practice will technically be the activity pages. And of course, sometimes I do the activity page, sometimes I don't, but we're going to go ahead and get into that in just a bit. So we do activity. And then of course we have the guided practice one I'm going to write in just a second. So the hook, I'm actually going to, we're going to do a 3D shape song to introduce what we're going to be learning for the week. Okay. And sing along. Okay, they've actually heard it a couple times, but just to kind of get their background knowledge into it, we're going to go ahead and do that. All right, so I put 3D shape song and sing-alongs. Is very short and to the point. Again, notice how it's not too long. I do, we do, you would do activity. We are going to play the, we're not going to play any games yet. Okay, we're going to play find the object. Or not find the object, match the object. Match the object to the 3D shape. Okay, and that just simply means, and of course I'm just going to write it because it's a note to myself technically, but we're going to play match the object to the shape. So I'm going to actually have different objects, such as a ball, such as a can, such as a cube, like blocks of cubes made out of Minecraft cubes. And they're going to have to tell me which one is the 3D shape that we've been talking about. Which one's a sphere, which one's a cube, and which one's a cylinder. All right. So, and I'm going to go ahead and just write those down. And I'm actually going to do even a little note here. Make sure to have a ball, a can, and cube nearby. All right, that's it. And that's all, guys. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the guided practice portion of it. Hey y'all, it's me again, and I was just going through my video trying to, edit it and do all the shenanigans, and I forgot to tell you guys that objective is the same thing as learning target. That is my bad. So every time you guys hear me say objective in this video, I really mean learning target. I'm so sorry I did not use that, or learning goal. Learning goal, learning target, and objective are all the same thing. That's what we were doing in the previous video, so make sure that as I'm saying that, that's what I mean. Learning target and learning goal. Thank you so much. Happy learning. Let's get back into the video. That has been a public service announcement. Ciao, ciao. Click on here, and we're going to go back to our math. And actually, let's go ahead and zoom in, because I know I'm kind of giving you guys like the weekly snapshot. But the best thing about these guys, look at that daily snapshot. Look how easy it is to get to our actual lesson and zoom in. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and click over here. I'm going to go ahead and click edit lesson. All right. And then what we're going to do is we're going to continue to do our guided practice. So with our guided practice, we're actually going to be completing. Now, this is when, of course, I said, don't let the whole lesson be page numbers. Notice that the whole lesson and instruction was not page numbers, but the outside of instruction, when they actually do the practice, it's actually on a piece of paper. So we're actually going to be doing, let's see, my son, and I actually have two things for them to do. So I will do, yes, yes. And then y'all hear my little daughter. All right, guys, I'm just going to go put my son here. I mean, I could put his name, but I'm just going to put my son just for, okay. So, okay, my son will complete, because he's the one that can write. So he will complete pages 8 through 9 and identify and drawing spheres, cylinders, and cubes. So I know that sometimes they have like some tracing in here and so forth. So it's just something to basically help him with his understanding. And then, okay, my daughter, okay, because of course they do different things. We do the same lesson, even though I have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, and they just do different things as their practice, okay? So my daughter will create different towers and figures using cubes, okay? Because she's only 2. So she'll take the Minecraft cubes, they're cubes, and she's just gonna like play with them and create different objects and figures, whatever she decides to do, okay? And that is it, guys. Notice how the page numbers are, and I'm not just using page numbers here. I'm putting in, okay, I'm using page number 8 and 9, and also what he'll be doing on that page. I think that's super important, and not just saying, hey, they're just going to fill out a worksheet, right? There's a difference. So I hope now that you guys see it, it's a lot more clear. And now let's go ahead and get to, I'm done with math. I've already planned for math. So Let's go ahead and look at it from the full snapshot here. So let's go ahead and review. Okay, so our objective is I can identify cubes, cylinders, and spheres. My instruction is I'm doing a hook. I'm doing the 3D shape song and sing along. And then I'm going to do a I do, we do activity where we're going to play match the object to the 3D shape and I have to make sure I have a ball, a can, and a cube nearby so that we can play the game. And then last but not least, he's going to be doing the practice pages for the guided practice, numbers 8 through 9, identify and draw spheres, cylinders, and cubes. And then my daughter will be creating different towers and figures using cubes. That's it, guys. You see how short, sweet, and to the point? And of course, you have our standard at the bottom. That's going to be our standard for the week, which is identify squares, circles, triangles, rectangles, hexagons, cubes, cones, and cylinders and spheres as 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional shape. That's it. All right, guys. So let's go ahead now and let's go ahead and plug these in. And I'm about to show you guys why Planbook is so amazing, because I'm about to just snapshot this and just change a few things just in a couple clicks. So that's another reason why I'm showing you guys this amazing platform, Planbook. You've never seen planning like this. Let's get into it. Or maybe you have seen planning like this, but still, let's get into it. It made me excited. Even better. Okay, let's make this even more amazing. So here now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a week snapshot. So this allows me to push everything forward on this platform. Okay, I know it looks a little daunting at first, but let's go ahead and push it forward. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take the standards from this. Let me move my little thing here, and we're actually going to edit it. And we're going to push the standards forward. So here, I'm going to extend my standards by 3 days. So I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, or 4 days. So let me go ahead and extend standards. We only do school 4 days a week, but sometimes we use that Friday as a buffer day if something were to happen. You know, if there's a holiday or something like that, sometimes we use the 4 day. But anyway, let's go ahead and extend the standard. Okay. And then now we are also going to go ahead and we're going to copy. Okay, so the standard's there. So you can see here and all the math, the math's still in red, by the way. All the maths have the standard already in there. So no more writing every single standard in each one. Okay, this makes it so easy, so simple. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to copy. And I'm just going to copy it and I'm just going to paste the lesson there. And it tells me to ask me to overwrite. Actually, now I think about it, maybe I'm not going to do that. But I am going to edit it and I'm just going to copy and paste the structure. So let's go ahead and go to instruction here. And I'm just going to copy and paste the I do, you do, we do thing here, activity. And say, for example, if it was long, I could copy and paste it, but I'm just going to snatch the hook again. I'm going to copy it. And actually, I like to do every other day. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go to, I did that on Monday. So I'm actually going to go to Wednesday. And I am going to put in that hook and that structure into my lesson for that day. Okay? Because it's kind of like the same. Right? So, and this is the good thing about having your objectives already written down, etc. So let's go ahead and go to our objectives and our practice real quick for our Tuesday here. So let's go ahead and edit lesson. I'm going to go ahead and write my objective. My objective is I can recognize attributes of cubes. I can recognize attributes of cubes. Okay, so attributes is simply what makes a cube, right? How many faces, how many lines, how many edges, all those things. And I've been kind of studying it a while to kind of know, but you could always note that down here if you wanted to clarify what attributes were. Okay, now our direct instruction, what we're going to do is our hook, of course. Let me just Control V. Okay, I'm not going to do the 3D song here. We're actually going to be doing a different activity. So the hook is going to be what? It's going to be a question. What are some, let's see. Name some of the 3D shapes we discussed yesterday. And yes, I talk to my kids like this. I'll be like, name some 3D shapes we discussed yesterday. And they'll be like, oh, okay, here are some 3D shapes. Or if I have to clarify it, I'll make it simpler for them. But I'm going to write that as the hook. Okay, the hook doesn't have to be a video every single time or anything like that. And then the we do activity. We are going to be, the kids will identify cubes within the room. Okay, and then not only that, but we will name the attributes of the different sized cubes. Okay, period. That's the activity. Okay, short, sweet, and to the point. And you know, I love to clean it up with Grammarly. Okay, and then our guided practice is just going to be those page numbers. All right. Okay. The guided practice will be page 10 and 11. Let me go ahead and stop this section here, our guided practice. And here is where we're going to do our workbook pages. I could just say workbook pages or teacher pages. With dimensions, we do have both. We have the workbook and the teacher pages up here. And I'm actually going to kind of go over some of those different ones. So when I say page 9 or 10, it could be the workbook or the teacher book. But I mean, I'm going through them. This is my lesson plan. So I kind of know, like, you know. But if you want to be specific, you'd be like, hey, this workbook, maybe the workbooks and the teacher books are different. You could always change that up as well. But we're going to be completing pages 10 and 11. I'm going to put student will be, I'm going to put my son as usual. My son will be completing pages 10 through 11 and identify the different attributes of a square. I know y'all hear my you guys hear my co-star up here as she's chilling. Of course, find the different attributes of the square by circling, drawing, and reasoning, because actually the page does have a lot of reasoning. And then, of course, my daughter will be playing with the Montessori cube. And count the sides of the cube. Okay, because she has like a really cool Montessori cube and has like different parts. So I'm gonna let her actually play with it during this time, and then I'm actually gonna ask her to count the size, because technically that is I think that is an age appropriate thing to do when we're going over this. All right, so we're gonna do that, and that's it. Wow, day 2 is done. Do you guys see how fast this is happening, especially with your standards and your objectives already there? The hook comes together, the activity comes together. It's not blah, it's not bland. So we only have 2 more days to go. So let's go ahead and go see the other ones. And we're going to see if we can maybe make a little shortcut here. All right, guys. So here we are. We have already done 2 whole lessons. So let's now go ahead and get into Wednesday now. So I'm going to go ahead and edit Wednesday. And this one is pretty straightforward. The objective is that we will learn positional words. So we're going to put, I can learn positional words. All right, and this one's super straightforward and direct. That's the beauty of having a really good curriculum and instruction, because it aligns with good teaching. If you pick a curriculum that's strong in teaching, that's strong in understanding how children think, how to go about instruction, how to model, etc., this is all going to be so easy to put in. Not the other way around. Again, we are using our learning targets and our standards to guide our instruction. And this is just kind of shows how quickly lesson planning could go if we have a very strong curriculum. So here I have the hook. We're going to do a 3D shape song again, like I did earlier previously, like we talked about in the previous video. So our activity, all we will do is we will use building blocks to discuss positional words like front, back, on top, bottom, etc. So we're literally just going to take his Minecraft blocks and his regular, my teaching blocks, and we're just going to talk about different positions. I'm going to be like, okay, where's the red block? Okay, where's the blue block, etc. And that's it. And then, of course, for our guided practice, we're just going to complete page 13. We're going to complete page 13 and discuss the positions of the objects on the page. Okay. And then, of course, what is my daughter going to be doing? She is also going to be playing with the positional blocks. My daughter will play with positional blocks and my son will do the page. All right, guys, so we have one final day of this week. I'm just so excited because, wow, we definitely went through this super, super fast. But now let's go ahead and get into writing our objective for Thursday. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the actual day Thursday so y'all can see it up close. I'm going to click on edit the lesson. Let's go ahead and put in our objective. All right, our objective is we're going to be building using solids. That's it. I can build using solids. Solid 3D shapes, because that's what we'll be doing today. That's what they will be doing today. Okay. So what is the direct instruction? The hook. All right, and this is where you guys have been waiting for. I'm actually going to show you guys in real time how we're going to be using ChatGPT to create a hook that maybe we didn't think of. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I use ChatGPT if I can't think of anything off the top of my head, like something else. So I'm going to say, okay, create a hook activity that is 2 minutes long. I don't want it to be too long. Regarding 3D shapes. Give me a list of 5. All right. So you can use ChatGPT and AI for all sorts of stuff, especially when it comes to these type of activities. So this one, it says mystery bag. So how it goes, 2 minutes, a small bag with 3D shapes, cube, sphere, cylinder, cone. How it works. You put 3D shapes objects in a bag, you describe it without naming it, and it has 6 faces, all faces or squares. It has 8 vertices, and students guess the shape and pull it out dramatically. Okay. So yeah, so maybe I can describe it. There's a 3D scavenger sprint where they can find they have 60 seconds to find a scavenger. They have 60 seconds to find something in this room shaped like a cylinder. Oh, now that sounds fun. And add energy, and you can do 3, 2, 1, freeze. Oh, yeah. This 3D shaped scavenger sprint, definitely my speed. So I'm going to go ahead, because I'm not really familiar with how it works, I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste it. I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to put it right as my hook. Look how fast that is. And I'm just going to put Control V. So now I have the whole hook. If I forget how it goes, I can put it there. And it wrote it out for me. So that is always really awesome. Okay. Now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to go ahead and put in what we're going to do. We're going to create instruction. I do / we do activity. Okay. So the kiddos will be using objects to build. Oh, wait, let me scroll down a little bit. I don't think you guys can see that very well. Can I move this? Oh, I can. Yay. To build. To build a city of 3D shapes. Okay, and this has, we're going to have blocks. We're going to use all sorts of things to create it. We're basically going to get all their 3D shaped toys, and we're going to bring them all together. And we're going to make a big city. It's going to be super fun. All right, and the guided practice, there is no guided practice today because we actually did page 13 yesterday. And of course, if we don't get to do it, yesterday, we could always push it. But that's it, guys. And of course, because it is Thursday, I might actually go ahead and even test them. I'm going to test them using the scavenger hunt to see if they understand what we've been learning for the week and kind of see how that I can intertwine it. But that is it, guys. That actually concludes our lesson planning for mathematics for the week for a pre-K school. I'm so glad you guys were able to step in and even see how I use AI tools. And I'll actually be showing you more videos on how to use AI tools to make planning so much quicker. So let's go ahead and see what our week snapshot looks like. That's why I love these, because I can bump them, I can move them. If, say, for example, we don't maybe get to this for some reason, I can always bump it to Friday. And that's why I love Planbook. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Like, comment, and subscribe for more. Happy planning. I'll see you guys the next time. Bye-bye. See you later.